Hi, my name's Dave Adams.
I'm Ricky Sherwood.
And you're watching The Core Mechanic. Today we look at number 94 on Mike's list of games you absolutely positively must know how to play. Time's up.
Time's Up was designed by Peter Sarrett and released in 1999 by Asmodee Games. Time's Up is a deduction communication game where you try to get your team members to guess what's written on your cards in 30 seconds. It's played over 3 rounds, with your available communication options decreasing each round. You start off with phrases, move on to single words, and finally, gestures only. It should be noted that while there is an official release of the game, you can recreate the experience using nothing but blank paper and friends.
Alright, so when we played Time's Up, it was meant to be a D&D night.
Yes. Didn't have enough people.
Didn't have enough people, but we managed, or at least not the people who we normally play with.
Yep.
And when we rocked up, I was not expecting to play Time's Up.
Right.
So I went from going there ready to rock and roll,
yep,
and getting there and being told, oh, let's play a party game.
Oh, okay.
Not my favourite way to do D&D, to be honest.
Yeah, no.
I was really sceptical. Turns out it's pretty fun, though.
It's actually, yeah, because it's that team element.
Yeah.
Puts me in mind of charades, which I've never actually played before.
You never actually played charades?
It's something
Were you not a school kid at some point in your life?
No.
What?
I was born.
You were
fully
born?
formed adult from the head of my father. Just never got around to doing it, I suppose.
Wow.
So the final round element was an interesting sort of challenge, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, because you go through the 3 different elements.
That's right. Now, we picked a theme. I suppose we should talk about this. You can buy Time's Up.
Yeah, you can.
Or you can grab yourself some pieces of paper, scribble down some thematic stuff on them. We did films, music, and
I think we
some
just
sort
did
of entertainment.
Any sort of pop culture.
Entertainment, yep. And then just shuffle those around, and those become your cards. It's that simple a setup.
I almost feel like that it was a party game that just got formalized.
Eventually became so big that
it does, like, that happens though. Like, these party games get formalized into a board game set, but
yep.
You know,
you could play Cards Against Humanity just by writing horrible questions and horrible answers on pieces of paper.
Yeah, or you could play a decent game.
Okay. No, but so I think that gradual progression is sort of what keeps this differentiated from charades. You only get 30 seconds.
30 seconds?
But you start off real easy. You can use a full phrase.
Yep.
And your team members just have to guess what's on your cards. Not the easiest thing. For instance, if you get War and Peace and you've never read it or know anything about it, you might try saying big thick book and get answers like the encyclopedia. I don't know. Which happened to me. But then you don't keep doing that.
No.
The next round then becomes a single word. Now the key is you've already gone through the round once and you've got the same cards there. So everyone now already knows what's in the deck.
And they not only know what's in the deck, and we've not only gone around the table, but we've seen the same words over and over again. And you're not allowed to change the order, are you?
No.
Not specifically, but you take cards out as you score them. However, so you've actually seen the cards themselves multiple times in the first round. So by the time you get to the second round, you're starting to pick up on certain key words, key phrases that people are tapping into. You create an almost unwritten language, and if you can't do that with your partner, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So you and your partner start to develop ways of trying to get across certain information.
Yeah.
And in fact, one of the things I saw one of the groups doing was that they were almost formalizing actions for their words from the get-go.
Yes.
From the very first round, they were coming up with actions to do with each word. So by the time it got to the charades section,
they'd be ready.
They almost had a language of themselves ready to go. So they're almost like expert players.
Yes. Spoiler. didn't help.
Well,
It really didn't
I don't
help.
even know who won. I know I didn't win.
Yeah.
I didn't come close.
But that wasn't the point.
That wasn't the point. It was
Everyone was just having fun. But it rarely is that simple a game. That, like I said, you could play, just write down some stuff on a piece of paper. Do it as many times until you get bored with it and put it away.
Yeah.
I mean, rounds are 30 seconds.
Look, and this is a bit funny. We have 80-minute lessons at the school that I teach at. And one of the things I've done is I've adapted this game as a reinforcement tool. So I say, look, we've been learning about medieval Japan. You need to put down names of people, battles that happened, inventions or technology that were designed.
At the time, yeah.
And that becomes their game. They have a game of time's up. And what happens is by the end of it, I've gotten them ready for a test. It's great. Like they start. It's so funny. Like the things, the information, especially during that first round, the information they're passing to each other to try and get the word out of their partner is really quite impressive. And you see them learning as they go, because as people take turns, they're learning off of each other. So just as a side note, on an educational level, this game is brilliant, and I've used this a number of times now as an educational tool, and it's been great each time.
Yeah. So why Time's Up over any other party games? Why was it not Charades on the list? Because that's more famous.
That's true. I think I like the time element to it. I think in terms of its design, having that 30 seconds seems so short when you start. And you're racing through to try and get through, and it is short. 30 seconds is not a lot of time. It's amazing how many words, when you start to get to learn the deck and you learn each other's non-verbal cues, how many words you're actually scoring.
Yeah. Because you can score the card that you're using, and then you immediately move on to the next one. You could score multiple cards in 30 seconds if you're good enough.
Yeah, but that time element then also adds that pressure and trying to think on your feet. Because as you try to get certain things, you're like, oh, I can't say, you start doing crazy actions. That time pressure can really get to you.
It can.
You can do the 30 seconds and not score a single thing. But at the same time, everyone's had a good laugh because you're there gesticulating and making spluttering noises for essentially no effect.
Yeah.
So I guess it does play off of, in some respects, that social embarrassment, having to step yourself out and do something which is a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah.
And the nice thing in going back to that educational side is I've seen quite shy kids get up and find this as a way of interacting and sharing knowledge. So I think social embarrassment,
it's there. It's the same schadenfreude that inspires a lot of these sorts of things. So it doesn't really feel mean or...
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not mean or nasty, and you only go as far as you're willing to go. So
don't worry, your partner will have a chance to embarrass themselves as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But
it is a good party game that scales well too.
Yep.
But I wouldn't probably do it past 10 people.
I mean, this is not something
is a lot.
I suppose the off-turn players are sitting there maybe looking at the motions and saying, oh, that's actually really good.
Yeah.
We'll try using that when it comes up.
Yeah.
So they are still involved somewhat, but there is downtime.
Absolutely.
30 seconds worth.
30 seconds per round, though. So if in terms of your team, in a team when you've got 5 teams, that's a few minutes between each round.
Yep.
It is a few minutes, but I think there's entertainment from that. Like in charades, you're watching the other team try to communicate non-verbals to their team, to their team members. And that's fun and entertaining still. Like, it's still fun to watch that happening.
Yeah.
But then it's your turn and you can see, you see how hard it is to do. It is a good party game. And I think having party games on the list is a stretch for me too, because I probably wouldn't have played this game otherwise.
Had it not been, yeah.
But having played it, I realised that I can actually engage and enjoy those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So I'm not really big into party games. I play them when I'm there, but I don't go out of my way to play them.
Yeah.
But this was a game that really captured my imagination, had a lot of fun with.
Yeah.
In terms of design, I mean, have you ever thought about designing party games before?
They're sort of the holy grail of game design, really.
Oh, really?
So, party games have a lot of broad appeal, probably good marketability, Probably very hard to do because the concept and the execution needs to be so simplistic but still so involving that, you'll look at your first draft of whatever, and by the end of it, if you make a good party game, the rule sheet that was 1 page long might only be a few sentences at that point.
Yeah, and I think that really is a key element of any good party game is the simplicity of play. Like, it needs to be easily learned and quickly taught.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time, and I'd probably say this would be a common thing with party games, is that they're usually played, you're right, more in social settings, not necessarily in game groups.
Yeah.
I know there'd be game groups who'd happily get together and play party games, but I mean, if I'm bringing out Time's Up or something, it's probably, I've got a few friends over, they're probably not gamers normally.
Yeah. You've just eaten, you're having a bit of coffee at the moment, got some time to kill before traffic dies down.
Because I think party games are designed for that broader audience. They're not designed for your gaming community.
Yeah.
Something like, Champions of Midgard, designed for a gaming community.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a party game.
Yeah.
Doesn't have that broad appeal. Complex rules, but that simplicity, that chic design.
Yeah.
Adds to a lot of playing. But look, that's all we've got time for today. Thanks for watching. If you like what we're doing, please hit that like button. If you're new to this community, please hit that subscribe button. And until next time, my name's Dave Adams.
I'm Ricky Sherwood.
And you've been watching The Core Mechanic.